It's been almost 15 years for me living in this great country of the UAE. I have seen a lot of people coming here with high hopes but leaving broke. It's not that they didn't get the chance to build wealth, but it's actually they didn't capitalize on the opportunity that this country offered. It does not take a lot to build wealth, but just proper planning and consistency in the implementation of that plan. In this video, I will show you a proven way to become a dirham millionaire while you are an expat in the UAE. Looking at the demographic of my audience, I think it is not a difficult task for you to spare 2000 dirhams every month for your financial goals. I will discuss a few ways you can invest your money passively while staying in the UAE. I will not be discussing about day trading. I will not be discussing about crypto trading that can double or triple your money within a short span of time, because I think normal person is not capable of doing this kind of trade or investment. We are going to talk about only passive investment, which ranges from 5, 6, 7, 8 or at max 10%. This is the maximum that we are going to assume. Let's talk about realistic gains of 5% and what will it achieve you in next 20 years. Because when the expat comes here, they talk about very small amount of time. They don't think so that they are going to stay for longer period of time, but they tend to spend their whole life in this country. So let's talk about 20 years. 20 years is a fair amount of time you can assume for someone to have a long-term investment. I have been here for 15 years, as I mentioned before. 5 years down the line, it will be 20 years. Let's talk about realistic investment opportunities in fixed income, which can give you 5% of return on annual basis. I'm going to talk about only the platforms that I have invested in, although I know a few more platforms that can give you more than 5% returns as well, but I'm going to stick with National Bonds and View Bank. Both of these instruments are very easy to open the account with and also transfer the money to. If you're living in the UAE or even in the GCC region, you can easily open the account and go ahead with your investments. I'll go to the portal which can give me an idea of recurring investment. If I'm going to, let's say, invest 2000 dirhams every month for the next 20 years, what are the expectations I should hold? So I'm going to use this investors.gov. This is a compound interest calculator from the US government itself. And the only thing is that the amount that you're going to enter here is 2000. Let's say if I'm going to enter $2,000, I'm not gonna be meaning as $2,000. I'm gonna still meaning to be as 2000 dirhams. But as the mentioned symbol is dollar, just to be sure that you are investing in dirham, or you can convert it as well. But I'm gonna just, for the sake of simplicity, I'll just add as 2000 in the initial investment, and then monthly contribution, as I mentioned before, it's 2000 dirhams as well. And then the length of time in years is 20 years, as I mentioned before. The estimated interest rates are going to be 5%. Of course, this 5% will not remain like that for the coming years. It might go down, it might go up further, but currently it's 5%, so I'm gonna assume 5% here. Then the interest rates variance range, I'm not assuming anything right now. I'm gonna keep it as 0 because I'm not considering changes here. I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm gonna put the link of this website in the description as well, so if you want, you can input your own targets so that the results are accordingly. Anyways, now the compounding frequency currently is, I'm going to use it as annually, and I'll just calculate it. So you can see in 20 years 2000 dirhams of investment, if I do on monthly basis and I get compounded and it get compounded annually, I can get 798 dirhams, 798,000 dirhams at the end of 20 years. So you can see the actual investments that I've done is 482,000 dirhams, and I got the actual returns because of the compounding. It went to 798,000 dirhams. Now the interesting part is that, let's say, because Vio Bank and National Bonds both allow you to invest annually as well as monthly, because you can do monthly investment as well as annual investment. But right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna invest every month, not every year. I'm not gonna save the amount, let's say 24,000 dirhams by the end of the year to invest in these options. So I'm gonna invest it annually, and I'm gonna do it annual calculation, and I'm gonna invest on monthly basis. So I'm gonna select the compounding frequency as monthly, but of course the returns are on annual basis. So if I calculate it again, it will come to be around 827,000 dirhams. So almost 30,000 dirhams have been added just because my compounding frequency has changed to monthly, not annually. So this is something which you need to know while you are investing in anything. So now, how can you get this kind of return? Just by investing 2000 dirhams every month into national bonds. National bond, I've made a few videos about national bond as well on my Urdu channel as well, and also my English channel as well. And then Vio Bank is a new bank which I'm investing in. They have two kind of products. One is you can just invest the money directly and keep the money in the savings savings investment of Vio Bank. And then there is a fixed investment as well for Vio Bank, which provides you not 5% but 5.5%, but you have to lock the amount into some kind of period. So I normally do not try to lock the amount. I just keep it in the savings space and give me return every month, by the way. So here it is, 830,000 in case you're compounding it on monthly basis. Now let's get to a place where you're investing in money not for 5% but let's say for 6 to 7%. Now before going into the next opportunity, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Moreover, I also have a newsletter which I send out at least 2 times a month, linked in the description below. Now let's get back to the video. Where can you invest for 6 to 7%? Normally if you go for the longer term, you will get 6 to 7% in the rental space in any property in the UAE. You might get some capital appreciation as well. Actually, you will get some capital appreciation if you're talking about 20 years period, but I'm gonna keep it at 6 to 7%. And now you're going to ask me, how can you invest a property for 2000 dirhams on a monthly basis? So the answer is that you can invest through portals like SmartCrowd and GetStake, which provide you the option to invest in real estate of Dubai without buying into the full property. So you can buy portion of that property through your investment. You can start investing through 500 dirhams, as low as 500 dirhams, and go up to as much as you want. Although there is a cap, I think 180,000 dirhams per year of a cap you want to, if you want to invest. But then if you can prove that you have a net worth, higher net worth, then you can invest more as well. But let's talk about 2000 dirhams per month in any of the properties that you can see on Stake or SmartCrowd. By the way, if you want to invest through my referral code, I have given a referral code in the description below. You can get up to I think 250 dirhams for your first transaction, either through SmartCrowd or GetStake. Now let's go to this calculator again. You will be investing 2000 dirhams, monthly contribution of 2000 dirhams again. Length of years is 20 years, but your estimated interest rate would be, it's not interest rate, it will be your profit. Let's say we are talking about 7%. So if you're going to add 7%, and if its compounding frequency is monthly, then if you calculate it, the amount you will make is around 1 million dirhams. So only 2000 dirhams investment per month will give you 1 million dirhams over the period of 20 years, compounded at 7%. And it is possible because I make a lot of videos on Stake and SmartCrowd, and I come to a conclusion that after you spend, let's say, invest, let's say, for a longer period of time, the normal returns is around 6 to 7%. So I'm considering 7% for a longer period of time of 20 years. By the way, if you calculate it on annual basis, so there is a possibility as well, you can calculate it on annual basis, and it comes to be around 991,000 dirhams. So you can see here almost around, let's say, 60,000 dirhams of difference while computing it on annual basis or monthly basis. So again, if I go back to monthly, because currently it shows 990,000 dirhams on the annual basis. If I go to monthly basis, it will come to be around 1.049 million dirhams. So it's around 60,000 dirhams of additional advantage if you invest on monthly basis. So it is important you compound it on monthly basis, but in some cases it is not possible. Then you should be knowing the calculation how it is done. Now let's talk about something which is let's say a guaranteed return, not a guaranteed return, but let's say if you invest on a longer term, let's say of 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, then we have seen the trend of the US stock market to be giving you 8%, 9% returns on average on an ETF basis. You don't have to work a lot. By the way, these are all passive modes of investment. You don't have to work a lot. You don't have to You just have to make a system around it, and you can get a lot of benefit out of it. So let's talk about ETF. And with the ETF, I normally invest through. If you're a new investor, you should invest through Sarva. Sarva is a very reliable platform within the UAE. If you don't have a lot of information how US stock market works, then you go to Sarva Invest. Sarva has multiple modules where you can invest in. Sarva Invest is the one which is very simple. You just have to put your money, and you just have to profile yourself, like are you risk averse, or you are prone to risk. So whatever the case is, I think 8% return is very much possible while you are investing through Sarva Invest. But you have to, because I'm making almost around 10% right now. You should always remember, market can go sideways, market can go down. Maybe for next 5 years, market can remain down. So that's not the point. Point is that you should keep on investing. You should keep on investing on monthly basis. And eventually after 20 years or 25 years, 30 years, whatever the time frame you've chosen, it will give you absolutely amazing returns. We are considering right now that it will give you 8% returns. So if you talk about 2000 dirhams invested every month for the length of time of 20 years, and the percentage is 8% of estimated profit returns. The monthly, let's talk about monthly first. Monthly returns would be around 1.187 million. This is on monthly basis. So if I convert this to annually, if I calculate it on annual basis, the returns would be 1.07 million, 1.107 million. So again, you can see the difference between monthly and annually. Now, in case you do, and by the way, if you want to open the account in Sarva, you can use my referral link linked in the description below. You can get $50 of referral bonus on your first trade if you invest at least $2,500 into the account. So there is a link in the description. You can use that. Now, if you want to invest in US stocks by not going through the ETF route, but going through investing in companies like Google, Microsoft, Apple, whatever you think about in the US that they can provide you better returns for the next 20 years, I'm not suggesting you anything, but I'm just giving you an idea that a lot of people have invested in Microsoft. A lot of people have invested in Apple 20 years back. Amazon. These companies have given you phenomenal returns. So I'm just assuming that you select a basket of companies, let's say 10 companies, 12 companies, 13 companies, and then invest in those companies, distributing your 2000 dirhams every month, and then you might get 10% of returns. Again, this is again passive investment. You're not doing a lot of deliberations or time, or spending time into these investments. So in case you get 10% return, let's say for 20 years of period of time, so 10% return will give you, on annual basis, it will give you 1.38 million dirhams. And if it's done on monthly basis, so if you get the returns on monthly and then reinvest on monthly basis, then the calculation shows you that it goes to 1.5 million dirhams. So the range is wild. So starting from 8,000 dirhams, 800,000 dirhams to 1.5 million dirhams at the end of 20 years period, depending on where you invest, how you invest, what is your risk profile, a lot of factors goes into it, and then you can eventually get a very handsome amount by the end of the target year that you're thinking about. So it is very important while you're living in the UAE to think about these kind of things, these finances, because we are although I've got, let's say, a golden visa, but still I'm not a citizen here in the UAE. So I have to think about my financial independence in the long run. So there is another app which is Baraka. I'm using that app for my individual stocks investing. That helps me a lot. I make multiple videos on this app in Sarva, on the other apps as well, just to educate people and let them know what are the possibilities. And it's not only fancy cars, it's not only living lavishly in this country, because this country gives you a huge opportunity of investment. While I'm living in this country, I can do a lot of things which I cannot do back home in my own country. So if you want to invest through Baraka, there is another app which is Baraka, and if you want to invest through my referral code, you can get up to $25 of referral bonus on your first transaction. It is a very stable app as well. I use all the time. While investing, there are a lot of risks involved. We have seen COVID, we have seen financial crisis, a lot of things happened in past many years. So you have to think about a long term. You should not be focused on only few years, because then you will have such kind of calamities that can eat up your own principal amount as well. These are all passive income. If you want to do some active income and you want to find out the ways how to go about doing businesses in the UAE, I've just finished one of the podcasts on this channel, and we've talked about how you can invest, let's say $50,000 up to $1 million in UAE, and what kind of businesses that you can do. Here's the link to the video. If you want to find out what is drip is very important while investing. Here's the video I recently uploaded on my channel about drip. Go see that video. I hope you like the video and found value from this video. Thanks a lot.